was even telling us already from the garden about how he was going to deal with us and everything when we get inside.
Money can make people do terrible things, but sometimes what begins as a plan to steal can spiral into something far worse. This is the story of two young women who destroyed their own lives without actually planning for it. Adama Joseph and Vandora Oreoluwa needed money. They knew someone who had it. His name was Adeniyi Ojo, a nightclub owner and son of Chief Emmanuel Ojo, who is a prominent figure in Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. Adama had worked under Adeniyi before. During that time, he repeatedly demanded a sexual relationship with her, but she refused. After quitting, whenever she asked him for financial help, he would not assist her. According to Adama, he was greedy and stingy, so she began resenting him. Together with Oreoluwa, Adama devised a plan. They would not ask for money, they would simply try to take it from him. But first, they needed him to be vulnerable and also unable to fight back. That was when they thought of BDSM. BDSM involves sexual activities where partners engage in bondage and restraint. The women realized that this was their opportunity. If they could convince Adeniyi to engage in BDSM, they could tie his hands and legs under the pretense of intercourse. While helpless, they could easily steal all his valuables and leave. They planned to offer Adeniyi a threesome. For a man like him, this would be irresistible. They brought a sedative drug in case they needed to put him to sleep. The women contacted Adeniyi with their proposal, and as expected, he agreed. The original plan was to get intimate inside his car, which would be private enough to carry out their robbery. But when they met, it was raining, so Adeniyi said they could not use the car because of the weather. Instead, he suggested a room in a building across from where they met. The women grew nervous. They had planned to meet inside his car because people could not easily see or hear. But in a room, if Adeniyi decided to shout for help, people might hear. They began worrying about what they would do if things went wrong. Still, they had no choice but to follow him inside. Inside the room, the three got on the bed together. Oreoluwa took charge of tying Adeniyi up. She bound his hands and legs with rope, making it look like part of the BDSM experience. Adeniyi probably thought this was the intimacy game he had agreed to. He had no idea he was being set up. With Adeniyi tied and helpless, the women began searching for money or valuables. They checked his pockets and looked around the room, but they found nothing. Adeniyi had brought no cash that day, and there were no valuables either. They had successfully tied him up, but there was nothing to steal. Then they had another idea. If he had no cash, perhaps they could get money from his bank account. They needed to unlock his phone. The women tried using the sedative drug first. They attempted to put the drug in his mouth to sedate him, but Adeniyi turned his face away in refusal. So Oreoluwa took his phone and held it in front of his face, trying to unlock it using facial recognition. That was when Adeniyi realized what was actually happening. This was not about intimacy. These women were robbing him. He freaked out and started shouting for help. Somehow, despite being tied, Adeniyi managed to loosen the rope around one hand. He reportedly began hitting Oreoluwa, trying to fight back. His screams grew louder. The women panicked. They were in a room where people could hear. If someone came, they would be caught, so they had to stop him from making noise. Oreoluwa grabbed a pillow from the bed. She pressed it over Adeniyi's face, trying to muffle his screams. The pillow covered his nose and mouth, cutting off his ear. Adeniyi struggled beneath it, but the women remained desperate to silence him. Then suddenly, Adeniyi went quiet. He stopped struggling. He stopped making noise, so they removed the pillow. Adama got down from the bed and told Oreoluwa she thought the man was pretending to be asleep, trying to trick them. To test this, Oreoluwa went to the door and turned the key loudly, pretending they were leaving. She later claimed she saw Adeniyi open one of his eyes. The women approached him on the bed. They begged him to wake up, promising they would leave and not hurt him. But Adeniyi did not respond. He did not move. Adama even touched him with a knife they had brought, but still, he did not react at all. The women convinced themselves Adeniyi was pretending, playing dead to scare them, so they left. They took his phone, the knife and the ropes, leaving Adeniyi lying motionless on the bed. The women went home, thinking they had escaped with just a robbery. Adama later said she thought the police would come only because they stole his phone. She claimed she had no idea about what really happened. Unfortunately for them, Adeniyi Ojo was not pretending. When they pressed that pillow over his face to stop his screams, they had suffocated him to death. The man they tied up, robbed and silenced was dead in that hotel room. On October 6, 2023, police operatives tracked down and arrested Adama Joseph and Vandora Oreoluwa in Mowe, Ogun State. Through careful investigative work, the officers had traced the crime to the two women. When arrested, they handed over Adeniyi's phone and SIM card, still not understanding what they had done. It was only when the police told them that they learned the truth. The man they thought was pretending had actually been dead. They had killed him. When paraded by the force public relations officer in Abuja, the women confessed to the crime. They explained how they lure Adeniyi under the pretense of a threesome involving BDSM. They described tying him up, trying to rob him, and how everything went wrong when he shouted. They admitted using the pillow to muffle his screams, not realizing they were suffocating him to death. They insisted they never planned to kill him, but a man was already dead because of their actions.
The idea was that, if he agrees to do BDSM with us, BDSM is the kind of sex where you tie the person's hands and legs. So while his hands and legs are tied, we can take cash or whatever valuable we can find and live with it. But it turned out that day, even when we went to see him that day, when he asked us to come, we even talked to him about needing jobs, but he told us that he did not have any jobs available at the time, but with time that he'll be able to find something for us. And he also liked my friend that day. He was even he was telling my friend that he likes her and he wants to sleep with her and everything. Basically that day he was proposing that he wanted to have sex with the both of us. So we now proposed the car sex to him, and he agreed, and the BDSM too, he agreed. He was even telling us already from the garden about how he was going to deal with us and everything when we get inside. Although we were not bothered because we knew we were not planning to have sex with him, and we just wanted to take his cash and leave. So it now turned out that it started raining. So instead of us going to the car, he now told us to go across to a building that was across the garden where we went to meet him. So when we went inside, we were waiting at the reception, and then he just came and he started going inside, and we were following him. Then it turned out that it was a room. We didn't know that the guest house that was there, maybe he works there or he owns it. So when we went inside the room with him, my friend went inside. She excused herself and went inside the toilet, and I joined her inside the toilet. So while we were inside the toilet, I explained to my friend that his car that we wanted to do, this one that he has brought us into the room, what are we now going to do now about it? So she was like, I should be calm. We went back inside with the man, and because he already had eyes and attention for my friend before, he started touching her. Immediately we came out, and he carried her and placed her on the table. He removed his shirt, he got naked, and he got on the bed. Then I got on the bed with him. He allowed my friend tie his hand and tie his leg. He was even the one that raised up his leg for her to tie him. So after she tied his hand and his leg, based on the fact that we were in a room and not in a car, because normally we thought that if we want to have car sex with somebody, it cannot be in a public place that people can easily see or hear. But because it was in a room, so we were already thinking about what we were going to do, in case maybe he starts shouting or something. So apart from the two ropes that were used to tie his hand and his leg, there was one other tiny clothes, all these clothes rope that they used to tie on gown that was tiny. So after my friend tied his leg and his hand, and she placed the rope in his neck, so I had this small cloth I used to tie on my head, small handkerchief I used to tie on my head, a scarf. So after, because my friend already tied his leg and his hand, so my own turn was to try to put the handkerchief in his mouth so that small rope, I can use it to close it, so that in case if he wants to shout, he won't be able to shout. But because I panicked and I freaked out, when I put the clothes in his mouth, he removed it and he told me that he did not want it. Then me too, I now took the clothes and I put it in my mouth and I told him that it's because we don't want him to moan too loud, that's why. But he refused. So During after that time that I refused to put the clothes in his mouth, I just like left him because I also panicked. That was why I could not tie the clothes in his mouth. So during the course of me being on the bed and just caressing him and everything, my friend went to the bag. We already had this thing before. We already had Refno in our bag that we were supposed to like give to him so that he will sleep like after, so in case, so that we'll be able to leave. So my friend poured it in her hand, and when she tried to pour it into his mouth, he turned his face away and it didn't enter his mouth. He said he didn't need it to lighten up his mood. So I think at that time she was now getting impatient because it was raining before. And as the rain stopped, everywhere became quiet and like we were running out of time. So that was when she took the phone. He tried to bend the knife, but the knife didn't cut his hand because the knife was blunt. We held the knife just to make him scared. Like the knife was not even sharp at all. It's like all these birthday knife they used to cut cake. So instead of that, when he was eating my friend, that pointy part of the knife, I was using it to like pierce him a little and begging him that he should stop eating my friend. That like if he should stop eating her, that we're not going to hurt him or anything. But he kept on eating her until when he suddenly went calm.
All along, you went in with everything to kill him.
No, sir.
With what you
No, sir. The kitchen knife in question, even when he held it onto his hand, I tried to break it and bend it from my hand. It didn't cut him. It didn't cut me too. It was totally blunt, and that was why we took it.
Are you happy with what has happened?
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Is that the first time?
Yes, sir. That was the first time ever that we've even tried to steal from anybody.
Okay. Can you give it to your friend? Hold on. She just narrated. She just narrated a lot of allegations. Is that true? If it is true, just say yes, true.
Yes, it's true.
No, speak louder.
Yes, it's true.
Everything she said is true.
Yeah, it's true.
You did it.
We did it together.
Okay, now you did it together. You regret any of this action?
Yeah, sure, we regret it.
What will you tell other ladies that are looking for quick money?
Use the mic now.
I would say they should be patient. God would always intervene and break through, of course, and not to just go for any man because of money.
Thank you so much.
Under Nigerian law, the women face charges of robbery and murder. Murder carries the death penalty. Even without execution, they face possible life imprisonment. The crime was particularly cruel. They exploited Adeniyi's desires to lure him into a trap. They tied him when he was most vulnerable, and when he fought back, they silenced him permanently. What had begun as a simple plan to steal money ended with a man suffocated and two young women facing possible execution or life behind bars. Their desperation for money destroyed 3 lives that very day. What are your thoughts on this case? Share your opinions in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel for more true crime stories.